Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Inside the Walls podcast. Along my side, my nose, English already messing up, and we're starting the episode. Typical me. Alongside me is my partner in crime, Matt Patton, and we have a third co-host. He is currently in the middle of training camp up in there in Wheeling, West Virginia. So Jeff won't be with us tonight. He might pop in after the interview for some live look-ins at training camp. May not. Don't hold it against me. I'm just giving you guys a little warning that might happen. But before we get everything going with today's guest and also breaking down the Beaumont Renegades of the National Arena League, remember NAL Game Day, March 10th at Wheeling. Big time event. I'm so excited for it. We have a lot of people involved. We have Coach Resinalo, Coach Shaw, Pittsburgh Steelers, Merrill Hodge, and of course the main eventers himself, Matt Patton, Jeff, and myself. We are the main event. We're the main reason why. Don't come for the Steelers, come for us. We're bigger than the Steelers. You know what I'm saying? No, we're not. We're not bigger than the Steelers.
I don't know if we're bigger than Merrill Hodge. I mean,
I will definitely ask him some questions about the indoor game, especially on NAL game day. Maybe a guest speaker. Let's see which I can do that. Can we do that? You think we can do that?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's trademarked. So,
what? Ask him who he thinks is going to win the game.
Yeah, I mean, guest pickers. Celebrity guest pickers. I don't know if we can flip pencils and stuff. They might frown upon that, but we'll see what happens.
Oh, yeah. But tonight's episode, of course, remember us and follow us on all social media platforms at NWallsPod. Remember to follow National Arena League at NAL Football on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and many other platforms. Keep your eye on some NAL content over the next couple of days. You might not know what pops up to be shocking or revealing because we are getting close to kickoff of the 2025 season, including tomorrow night in Shreveport.
Yeah.
The Dallas Falcons and the Shreveport Rubaroo kick off the preseason for the National Arena League. The link is active, ladies and gentlemen. You can go to NAL's NAL's YouTube page. It is there already. There's already 4 people waiting to watch it. I don't know why they're going to wait 24 hours for preseason, but they're dedicated fans. I'm just going to say.
I mean, I would argue that the Rougarou have some of the coolest uniforms in the entire league.
Dude, that's debatable because every team's uniforms I'm seeing so far are freaking.
But I mean, like with those slashes on the shoulders and the pants, from what I've seen, like that's pretty cool. Not gonna lie.
I just thought that was someone who has an itching, like a scratching problem, and they did it themselves. But anyways, on this episode of Inside the Walls, we'll be breaking down the Beaumont Renegades. We'll be talking about the schedule at the end, but we also want to bring on a coach that has some history in the indoor game. He's in a Hall of Fame of sorts, so really not really a big guy. Seeing that his name is inducted somewhere. Usually when you get inducted at somewhere, ladies and gentlemen, it means you've done something on the field to get yourself there. Or as a sideline, the coach. But I don't want to introduce him because if I did, Matt will just quit the show and I have to do the show solo for the rest of the way. So Matt, the honors is yours.
It's funny you said the word solo because this guy is, like you said, an all-time great in the indoor game. He's a former Iowa Hawkeye who I loved to watch play when he was in college. And I got to see him play for a season with our Omaha Beef back in the CIF days. But that's right, ladies and gentlemen, we have solo Coach Clinton Solomon is our guest here tonight. Coach, thanks for being here tonight.
What's up, boss, man? I appreciate you having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Well, sorry for I wanted him to do the intro because he is the resident Iowa Hawkeye fan. And I think it'd be, wrong for me to introduce you, seeing that he's a diehard. Now, if you wore a different college jersey,
Jim, who's your school, Jim?
I don't want to talk about that right now because
let's just say that they went from being left out of the college football playoff to not being anywhere near the college football playoff.
How about not even near a football field?
Right.
My alma mater, Florida State University.
So. Respect. Okay. Yeah, it ain't. Yeah, we're gonna leave that alone. You're right.
Why do you think I do this podcast? No, again, Coach, welcome to the show. A lot of people really don't know your track record in the industry. You've been inducted into a Hall of Fame of sorts for the Indoor Football League, so you've played a few downs. Not a
Yeah,
lot, but a few downs.
yeah.
We'll have Matt talk about you and your Iowa days because
Of
I'm
course.
eager to ask you some questions about that. But what
Yeah.
made you to go the indoor football route than, like you said, off screen European route? What drew you to the indoor game?
Man. So crazy thing, man. We was in when we talk about the start of Iowa. When I was in Iowa, we used to watch the Renegades come on TV in the locker room in our game room, and we used to walk by. You know, you had that ego. "Oh, I'm gonna play outside. I ain't gonna never play indoor." You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
me telling myself I never play that game, that my grandma told me, "You never say never." You know what I'm saying? So I ended up playing arena football, and then once I left the Rush, not the Rush, the Bears, I went to Chicago Rush, and I was a rookie. Learned a lot from those guys, Donovan Morgan, Damian Harrell, Cedric Bonner. You know, those type of great guys with the Rush, and after that, the league folded. Before I got the chance to express my talent, the league had folded, and when the league folded, my brother Carlos Kavanaugh was in Wichita, and he was like, "Man, come out here with me." And my agent at the time was like, "Look, you need to get some film. Maybe I can get you in the CFL." So I went, and at the time that was the IFL first year. Went to Wichita, and I had a great camp. And my first touchdown was a bomb in Omaha. It's crazy. My first touchdown in IFL, my first play of the game was a 49-yard touchdown in the Omaha in the what is it, slaughterhouse, the
Yep.
old one.
Yep.
Yeah, I never forget that, man. And we ended up losing that game. Omaha was a great team. They had McNair then at the quarterback, and they had OJ back there. And so it was a great time, but I fell in love with the game. And Sioux Falls was great competition at the time, and the league was big back then. The IFL was big. You had teams in Vancouver. You had teams all over. So at the time, it was fun, and I stuck with it.
Well, that old IFL, man, there were some
Nah, it was
like
some
in
teams in
Iowa,
there.
Sioux City, Sioux
Yeah,
Falls, like
yeah. It was some teams, man.
the area that Matt lives, that was the IFL Central back in the day. That
Yeah,
original version, like all those
yeah,
organizations. And now, of course, all the organizations found their different ways and they're
yeah.
in different leagues. But that traditional rivalry between Sioux City and Omaha is still there. And
You're right.
you now going to Beaumont, you get to rekindle some of those
Yeah,
old time matchups.
yeah.
Uh, you get both of them right out of the gate of the season. You with history as a player, now you're going to be as a coach go up against two familiar foes that you've played against in the past. What's going through your mind when you think of Sioux City and Omaha, and you being at the side of the coaching this time?
Man, it's the same mindset. Go out there and give it my all. Just like I was a player. I kind of coach similar to my game as a player. I just go out there and do my best. I put my players in the best position to make plays, and it's no different. I know Sioux City. I know they bring a great team every year. Those guys stick together for years and years, and they have great team camaraderie. And it's going to be a challenge, but we up for it. That's a good test to come out the gate. Um, Myself as a coach, I know the other side, the coaches are great, what they do. So it's going to be a challenge, and I'm looking forward to it, to see where I rank with these coaches. And then there's Tatum in Omaha. He's a back-to-back champ. I don't think he lost a game in, 2 years? So it's like, come
Yep.
on, that's saying a lot. And, we both came from a great coach in Coach Riggs, you know what I'm saying? When I watched Omaha play, just watching those games last year and the year before last, I can tell, he learned from great, from the Riggs. And I can tell that's what, he installed into his teams, and that's why he's a champion.
So that's an interesting dynamic for me. Like, you played with Coach Tatum for a little bit. Like, is your style of coaching and what you see in your offense now, is there going to be a lot of similarities between what we saw in Omaha last season and maybe what you did in Sioux Falls?
So if I was, a lot of me want to get,
without giving away too much.
yeah. Let me just say this. The guys that I learned from and I play with, you know what I'm saying, I'm bringing that to this team. That's my knowledge of the game. I go all the way from Coach Maytosh in Wichita. I go to Coach Maytosh and Coach Riggs, those guys, Chris Dixon even. I learned a lot from him. And then, just knowing my own knowledge of the game and taking bits and pieces. But, I can just say I'm going to take some knowledge from one of the greats, and that's Riggs.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Riggs is a legend. I don't even know what he's doing now. Is he doing like color commentary now? For
Man, I don't
somebody?
know. I don't know if he. I don't know. I mean, I know Sioux Falls they folded, but before then, I know he was helping out a little bit because his son was coaching. He was OC, so I don't
I
know. I
think
know he's probably still teaching.
his
Still
son is in
coaching.
Arizona with Kevin Guy now.
Oh wow.
So that's why I'm thinking where's Pops at? He might be chilling on the beach
Yeah,
in
he might be.
Mexico.
Hey, young Riggs, he probably be chilling, just
He
taking a
has the
break.
rings, man. He doesn't need to be coaching anymore. He needs to
He
go
got.
relax, man.
Yeah,
He
he
put
got
the
big.
sport. He put the sport
Yeah.
where
I
it is
mean,
now.
they made entire rules because of him.
Nah, they made that vet rule for that 2012 team we had in Sioux Falls for real.
Yeah, I
They-
don't want to talk about that team. That was an unfair team.
yeah, that
That
team
team
was
was loaded.
that team was loaded, man. When I tell people about that team, they don't. I be like, bro, we had at least 5 Hall of Famers on that team.
That team can literally beat. I don't know. I can if you run it
Nah,
back.
I
think
ranked
you
that
can.
team. I ranked that team one of the best that done stepped on the field
I'm just saying.
by far.
You can even match the best teams in any league. Go up
Yeah.
against that team.
Yeah, you're gonna have your money's worth with that team.
That's like going up against Team USA in basketball back in the day. Like you get Jordan, Magic, and Bird in the same team with Charles Barkley. Yeah, you ain't winning that.
Yeah, and one of those Hall of Famers is chiming in right now saying Sioux Falls makes the best coaches. So there's a shout out to Coach Ty Knight.
Look at Ty Knight. Yeah, he was one of the greats, man. He probably the greatest linebacker to play the game. It's a lot of great ones, but nobody did like Ty Knight. We got a little Superman thing going on where he called himself Superman, and I know in the CIF that was my name. So we got a little battle going on with that.
So you talked a little bit about some of the coaches from the indoor game that you obviously are bringing some stuff from, but obviously you played for a legendary coach at Iowa back when you were there, and Coach Kirk Ferentz. So is there anything that Coach Ferentz instilled in you as a player that maybe you still keep with you today and you're trying to instill in your guys there in Beaumont?
Man, it's that saying of having a chance and a choice. Coach, he always told us.
You guys keep going. I got an important text. I'll be back right after this.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Cool. Nah, he always instilled us, you had a chance, you had a choice. And you gotta take advantage of the opportunities that you get in life. And I try to instill that into the guys that I coach, just let them know we get a chance every day to play this game, make the right choices, treat the game right, it'll treat you right. So Coach Ferentz just taught me leadership, man, on and off the field. He taught me how to be a man, and you try to instill that to the younger guys that I coach now.
Yeah, and it was fun talking off air with you because you were talking about some of the all-time legendary Hawkeyes that you played with, guys like Bob Sanders, guys like Brad Banks, who you said you're still in contact with now, Abdul Hodge. Like, just talk about the impact that some of those guys had on your career as a player, and then obviously some of the things that maybe they're helping you that you've remembered as a coach.
Man, just as a player, they stayed on me as a little brother. I'm like a little brother to those guys during my playing career. Like I say, Brad helped me out through my NFL career. He was in and out with me. CJ Jones and Mo Brown as well. But, they just installed me, to keep going. They told me how to, push through this because it was hard. At times I wanted to quit, stop playing, but, they kept me pushing and kept me going. With my coaching career, those guys just stand back and they just let me do my thing because they really don't know the indoor game like that. So, they kind of just cheer me on from the back and just tell me to keep going and keep pushing. And to give me a ring, I got to get one for them. I got to get one.
For sure. Yeah, so I guess for me, I'm a former offensive lineman when I did play football back in the day. So I just love to hear from an offensive coordinator, kind of like, what's your offensive line looking like, and what are you excited about with those guys? So you got some big dudes on your O line. I think they average about 300 or 295.
Now they solid. They not some sloppy build linemen either. They nice size. They look good. They're very athletic. They can move, physical. So, man, I kind of. Like I say, I base everything like playing with the guys I did in Sioux Falls and stuff. So I know I'm not saying I got some Anayas on my team, but we got some dogs. You know what I'm saying? We got some guys that are gonna protect our quarterbacks and allow us to make big plays in the running game as well.
For sure.
You back, Jim?
Oh, I'm back, and I'm back to drop some hot fire, ladies and gentlemen. Sources can confirm to me that the National Arena League has secured a digital TV deal. Do not know the company, but I do know sources have confirmed that. That is right here on Inside the Walls podcast.
Wow.
Have it for you, ladies and gentlemen. What a slow news day was. sources confirmed that. So
we got a TV deal.
a digital that's been
Digital
confirmed.
deal. Okay.
Confirmed. I do not know who the company is, but that's been confirmed.
Okay.
Okay. Well, at least they
So
get
where
to
were
see
we at?
that people get to see him play. That's a good thing.
Yeah, for sure. I just asked him about his offensive line. So, Jim, you go ahead and take on the next question.
Speaking of offense, we talked off air about your coaching experience, and you come in here with a new roster, like bam, 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 what to study. But there are two individuals that you have history with that are on your roster, two receivers. Elaborate on them, how you think they can make your offense explosive here in 2025.
Just being vets, just understanding that they played this game and just understanding that they can teach them guys route combinations and how to run the certain routes. I know both of them guys can make plays. They both explosive. Watching they film from last year and then actually having to coach against those guys, I'm looking for them to just be, to step up and make plays right away.
Good. Everyone knows this. So this is very confusing for me, and Matt should know the reason why. When I hear solo, I don't think of you. I think of somebody else.
Okay.
Do you have a theme music? So it might fit the role of the other solo that's pretty big. And I guarantee you've already got people say like, "Hey, you're on WWE with your nickname."
Yeah.
Now my son already gave me that. He told me about it. He's a big WWE fan, so he knows all about the wrestling. So. Nice. We just came from the match they had in Dallas, Texas. I just took him to that. I think it was Monday Night Raw or whatever we had.
Oh, that's a big one. That's a big one.
He went to that. We took him to that, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, Coach. So let's focus. Did Matt touch about the Iowa situation or no?
I did. I already took care of that.
We got that away. Yeah.
I know you want to share some more about the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Absolutely.
Going into the season, we know how, unfortunately, things happen. You get the schedule coming out, but you look at the American Division, you play Shreveport twice this year. You play Wheeling, play Columbus, and you got Sioux City, and you have Omaha. That's a daunting schedule.
Yeah.
And as a player, I get you focus on, as a player, you just want to get out there and hit somebody, but as a coach, how are you going to prep your team to get ready for that?
Shit, every day in practice. We got to grind every day in practice. We got to come to work every day. We got to build the chemistry, get on the same pages, and just work hard daily. Just the same shit we went through as a player. Excuse my language. The same stuff we went through as a player. You work hard in practice, and it'd be easier on the game day. All right, so push these guys through practice, push them to perfection, and then come Saturday or come whatever day the game is, it'll be easy. They done watch film on their opponent. They done seen their weaknesses. We done got the game plan in order, so it's just time to go to work. And I feel like these guys don't understand that. They done been in the trenches before. They understand it's time to, work days, and they came to work today for the first day, and they go continue.
Cool. One thing, as a player, I interview players, I interview coaches. I'm going to ask you this question about getting ready for the games, prepping. Is it different as a coach compared to a player? Well, you're not putting on the pads. That's one difference.
Yeah, I ain't got it.
Mentally,
I ain't got to get my. Not really, because I got to get my fashion together. I still got to get my drip together. Like before, as a player, you got to look good. So I got to look good as a coach, and you look good as a coach. You play, you coach good. So you look good as a player, you play good, and you get good results. And I feel like that's the same thing as a coach. I'm gonna treat it as the same. I'm gonna make sure myself is together. Make sure the game plan together, and when I'm comfortable, I know everything else is comfortable. So I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna treat that just like I was playing though. Take care of my fashion, get my swag, music.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Coach.
Yeah,
are you like a lot of the other coaches that we've had on the episodes where you're trying to make sure you get that shoe game right?
My shoe game, that's one thing we got to keep. We're going to keep the shoe game right because, as coaches, you really don't have too much to look forward to. You got to wear the slacks. You got to wear the polo shirt, tuck it in, and your hair got to be cut. So the only thing you can, look good with is your shoes. So your shoe game got to be on point.
Man, Matt's going to set me up for some disasters here when we're doing the shoe rankings. Everyone could be accusing me of like the college football playoff committee. So why am I not in the top 12?
So I got to ask about this. Ricky Burt's owner of the Omaha Beef is in the comments saying that you can still suit up. So I know you've only had a couple days of practices, but have you had a time where you looked at it and you went, okay, I got to get out here and show these guys what to do?
Man, you want to demonstrate to your guys as much as possible. I mean, I feel like I'm a coach that can do that, but I let my guys, I just try to coach them to it. And if they want me to show them, I'll show them. I might get out there and try to run around just to show them a little bit, but I trust these guys' abilities to go out there and do it as I ask them to do. And sometimes like I ask them for extra work, what I'm saying? I'm gonna get out there and run around with them, just run routes with them so they can see how it's, how I'm looking for it to be done. It's not gonna be done exactly like that because everybody got their own twist of running routes. So as long as they got the spacing in the route down, I'm good.
Are you a fan of the wall or
Hell no. That wall undefeated. Like I was telling my players, I understand the wall right now it's surprising a lot of guys. They pulling up and I get it. I was a rookie too. But once you get your first taste of it, you'll understand that wall ain't going nowhere. So you're gonna either make the play or you're gonna get hurt without it. It feels better when you make the play. To fall over the wall with the ball in your hand, to get up and celebrate. You forget all about what you just hit and what you done banged up. So
it's also
game is different.
Being on the offense side of the ball, you don't like the wall. When you're defense, the wall is your friend because that's an extra defender. But in the offense, you just want to stay away from the wall.
Yeah.
Jim, you're definitely going to be in trouble with this shoe thing if you're looking at the comments.
Nah, yeah, these people going crazy with this shoe shit now, Jim. Excuse me.
Well, it started. This started with Shaw.
Or Tatum, I think. Actually.
That's crazy.
It was Tatum.
I actually played and coached. I actually played against Shaw, and then he actually coached me for the Bulls before he became a head coach in Colorado.
Yeah.
A creative bracket, have a fan vote. Oh, that's gonna be ridiculous. Hey, if it brings more eyes to the product, why not? Let's do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Ahead,
right? I mean, why not? Yeah. So sorry. So we've talked a little bit about your offensive line. We've talked about some of your coaching experience. Obviously, your playing experience. Talked about some of your wide receivers. Let's talk a little bit about your running back room. You've got a guy with quite a bit of experience in Jalen Singleton. With some championship experience, and then you've got Eric Young on your team as well. Just talk about your running back room and what excites you about both of those athletes.
Shit, two explosive guys, two dynamic guys that can do it. I just found out that Eric was a great DB, so he's very versatile. He can be used in a lot of ways. But in the backfield, we got a two-headed monster. We got two guys that can run the ball, they can catch, and hopefully they can pick up the blitz when it comes. So we'll see what they can do with the pass zone. But right now they looking good. Like you say, Singleton brings some experience from a championship team with Tatum. So it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna enjoy watching those guys run.
So, one other question I'd like to ask the players / coach: if you can relive your life over again, but still play what you did indoor, will you switch your position or stay where you were, which made you a Hall of Famer?
I'll stay where I was. Playing quarterback in this league. Listen, I played quarterback right before I retired, and it was fun, but it's different. All right, playing quarterback in this league ain't what I'm looking for. So I stay in position at receiver. I enjoyed it. I had fun with it. But yeah, I think I wouldn't change. I don't think I can last. I don't know. A lot of quarterbacks, they do play longer, but no, I wouldn't change it. I played pretty long for a receiver though. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah. So Omaha Beef owner Ricky Burt's chiming in tonight. Solo wants to know who's your favorite quarterback that you played with during your career?
Oh man, hands down, the greatest of all time, Chris Dixon. We only had a year, maybe 2 years together. But Chris Dixon, Dixie Wooten, Terrence Bryant, and Robert Kent, all 4 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. So I say Chris because we won our first championship together. But I played with some great ones. I actually won 2 with Chris. He actually came to the Revolution and helped me win 1 in the CIF. So, but Chris, because we put up a lot of numbers in Sioux Falls. I led the team in touchdowns because of Chris. I had like 35 touchdowns that season.
Awesome.
Well, you forgot to give Robert Kent his actual name, the Timeless Wonder. Robert Kent.
Yeah, Robert's still playing, man. I talked to him today, asking what he was doing. He's still doing his thing, though. He's still doing his thing.
For sure.
Been around the block. He's played for many teams in his career. If you go look at his landing spots, it's like a scroll of how many places he's been to.
Yeah, Robert done been around.
Yeah. for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Revolution team you guys had that year was a really good team. Also, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we was loaded. We had guys like Mike Dyer, Joe Adams from Arkansas, Mike Dyer that played at Louisville and also went to Oregon, not Oregon, but Auburn. We had some dogs.
Yeah.
So we was loaded, and then Chris led us at the hand.
Well, Coach, before we let you wrap up, because you got some team meetings to go to, I have two questions about personal goal and team goal for
Yes,
this
sir.
season.
Personal goal, man. To be honest with you, I really don't know. I really haven't set no goals for myself besides just for my team to win, to be one of the best offenses and win a championship. I don't really know, like, as a receiver, you set goals per game. Okay, I want this many catches. I just want to score 60 points and get the W. All right, and don't turn the ball over. So whatever that looks like personally, you know what I'm saying? I just want us to win. I want my offense to be successful and score points and, keep our defense in a winning position. So I mean, personal goals. If you tell me what I'm shooting, I mean, I don't know. The offensive coach, player, offensive number one offense in the league. I mean, I don't really have no personal goals, man. I just want to win. I just want my guys to be successful and win.
Matt, any final questions for Solo?
I actually like this one. Brian Schumacher chimes in, and you won a couple championships as a player. You think you would appreciate a championship more as a coach, or the ones that you got as a player?
Man, that's a good question. I wouldn't know until I win one as a coach. To be honest with you, but that's a good question. If I don't know. I mean, the leader, to be a part of a group of guys and watch them, celebrate a championship and to know you had something to do with it. I really can't tell you. I mean, I feel like it's going to be enjoyable. I'm going to enjoy it both ways. As a player, it was great. But I feel like so let me say this. As a player, my first one, I was kind of, I'm going to say I was a selfish guy at times as a player. I'm not going to say I was the best teammate, but I was a workhorse. I worked my butt off. So at that championship, when I first won the Sioux Falls championship, I felt not as productive because I didn't really have a great game. So it's like we won it, but it was like, all right, did I help us win? You know what I'm saying? It's like you want to be a part of it. You want to score touchdowns. You want to have great catches, but I didn't. And then so as a coach, it's like you got your hands on all of it. You got your handprint on all of it. So I feel like it'll probably feel a little bit more as a coach.
Well,
because you can have a bad game and you'll feel happy for the team. You know what I'm saying? You great. You happy you won a championship, but inside you like, damn, I wish I would perform better on this stage. And that's how it was for the first championship. It wasn't that I wasn't grateful that we won one. It's just I wanted to perform better than what I did.
Keeping that same energy, based on how you're talking, championship is where Beaumont's going to be ending up. Who would you like to play out of the national division?
To be honest, I don't even know how this. Excuse my language. I don't even know how it's broken down.
You're good. You're good.
I don't know how it's broken down, man. We just gonna line up and play. So if you ask me who I would like to play, I'm gonna say the champs, the back-to-back champs. You want to play them, you want to see them because why not? So it'll be Omaha if I really had to pick my choice. But I'm looking forward to playing everybody, every team, every atmosphere going there. It's gonna be fun to play against Columbus because that's a great organization out there. You know what I'm saying? And playing Sioux City with their history, and then of course Omaha, like I say, the champs.
Omaha does have a target on their back as they are the defending champions.
You back-to-back champs. You ain't lost in 2 years. Somebody want to get onto that.
Yeah,
Matt
might have the actual number of days since
973.
But who's
ain't
counting?
Lost a game.
Right?
Say less.
Right.
Say less. Y'all hear that? Omaha ain't lost a game in 973 days. Yeah. Say less.
Well, Coach, appreciate you joining. Before you leave, anywhere that the fans of Beaumont or in the National Arena League can follow you on social media to follow your career and maybe catch up on you in your next destination, if there is one.
Yeah. On IG is King Solomon 1021. And on Facebook is just Clint Solomon. That's all. Nothing special. My first and last name, of course. And I'm looking for this Beaumont thing to roll out, so we'll see how long it lasts.
All right, Coach. Appreciate it. Good luck on not really good luck. You have a meeting tonight, so watch your film or whatever you guys are doing tonight. Get ready because Tuesday night you guys toe hit leather for your preseason game. So at blink of an eye, it's gonna be Tuesday, and you're gonna be playing football.
Appreciate it, boss man. I thank y'all for having me.
Coach. And
Have a good night, Coach.
we'll be back right after that to wrap up with the schedule of the Beaumont Renegades. This is Inside the Walls Podcast. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, March 10th, 4 p.m. on Facebook and all social media platforms, including the National Arena League's Facebook page. NAL Game Day Live will kick off. Week 1 action from the National Arena League will be live on location at Westbanco Arena as we break down the upcoming Monday Night Football game. The only football game going to be played on Monday night in the National Arena League. The Spartans and the Miners live from Westbanco Arena. 4 o'clock p.m. is when game day kicks off. Myself, Matt, and Jeff will be live on location for that. Fun interview with Solo. We kind of rushed the interview because he has team meetings. We do understand that. That's their focus first, not us. I'm sorry, Matt. I know you want to go down memory lane from the Iowa Hawkeyes from 30 years ago, but
hey, I got to talk about Bob Sanders and Brad Banks. I'm good for the night.
Okay, well, we can end the show now. So goodbye, everyone. But we won't do that. We'll wrap up the scheduled talk and then some. To the fans who want to ask some questions, send them in. We are live right now on all social media platforms, including the NAL Twitter account. So if you're here as live, you can just send us a question and we'll answer it for you. But let's get into the schedule for the 2025 Beaumont Renegades. And because of unforeseen circumstances, the schedule did get a little changed, but as you could tell, the NAL opponents are there as followed. Interesting schedule. The schedule does kick off on Tuesday night when they are home against the Golden Triangle Seminoles. So that's a good way to start off and see what type of team. That's Tuesday nights, February 25th at 6:30 p.m. Then their first home game for the 2025 season is against the Sioux City Bandits in Ford Park Arena. 6 o'clock kickoff, Central, March 8th. That technically kicks off the season, ladies and gentlemen. That game, toe hits the leather in that game live. At the same time, I think Omaha's playing, but we'll touch that on March 8th. April 13th, it's like what Coach Solo says, there's a little break in between there. Their next home game is Omaha Beef, 6 p.m. on April 13th in Park Arena. In Park Arena for the week. There's so many weeks in between for 4 weeks. Week 6. There we go. Almost said week 5. I should have on the schedule. Then they're at Columbus on April. They're at Columbus on. Excuse me. They're home against Omaha on April 13th. They're at Columbus on April 18th. Short week. That's a Sunday followed by a Friday. They will travel to Columbus in Civic Center. On April 26th, the following week, they're at Sioux City to take on the Bandits at the Tyson Event Center. May 3rd, they are home against the Shreveport Ruberu at Ford Park Arena. On May 10th, they travel up to Wheeling to take on the Wheeling Miners around 7 o'clock. Excuse me, it's a 7 o'clock Eastern time at Westbanco Arena. May 17th, they are back home in Ford Park Arena as they host the Columbus Lions. Then to wrap up the season, May 31st at Shreveport Ruberu at the Memorial Coliseum to wrap up the season for the Ruberu. 9 games, 8 games in the NAL. And you look at the schedule, we have talked about this before. Dear God, it's a tough schedule. You look at the players they brought in with a very experienced. They have 9 guys that have over 5-year plus experience on the roster. If you want somebody to have that type of schedule, you need to have that type of experience. Matt, you look at this schedule. I know if Jeff chimed in and try and get in, and he will discuss what he thinks. When you look at the schedule, what pops out to you the most?
I mean, I think what pops out to me the most is they open up the season with Sioux City, the runners up in 2024, and then they have like 5 weeks until they have another game. And I know from last season when we had some schedule changes and stuff like that, I think the Beef had they had like a game and then like 4 weeks where they didn't have a game or something. And just talking to some of those guys, I know that was a tough stretch for those guys because they had to stay motivated and they had to stay ready to go, even though they weren't necessarily, playing against other people. And so I'm interested to see not only you open the season with your first two league games against the two teams that were in the championship game last season, but then having that gap in between those two games. I'm just interested to see how that goes for them. And then Columbus, like another team that's coming in from the league they used to be in, it's undefeated. Don't really know. I personally don't really know a lot about them. I know that they're a well-coached team, that they're going to come to play, but you don't know like what they're going to bring this year just because, not as familiar with them as I am with other teams or whatever. And then of course you got Wheeling on the schedule as well. So the fact that they have all three of the previously undefeated teams that are now part of the National Arena League on their schedule does make it a little bit more difficult for them going forward, and just interested to see what Coach Solomon and the rest of the coaching staff there brings to the table with the Beaumont Renegades.
Well, usually when you look at schedules like this, and you get the pair between Sioux City and Shreveport and Willie and Omaha. If I was a coach, and if I was a player, and I look at my schedule, and fans like me and you, Matt, and there's a lot of fans that cover this sport and do this sport. We wish you look at schedules like, man, can we get like let's look at as a college football type of schedule. I see Michigan, I see Ohio State, I see USC. Can I please Sam Houston State for a week, like in there, like an easy game, like a gimme game during the season? Usually, when you see a schedule like that, even though we haven't kicked off to it, we will see as we get closer to the season. We'll know some teams are like, well, they didn't live up to the name that we thought they had. That happens every year where we think a team's going to be like 6-2, 8-2, and you get there and they're like, well, they're struggling. For instance, great example, Florida State. Everyone thought they were a college football playoff team. They ended up being 2-10. Stuff happens in football.
Yeah.
But you look at that schedule. Well, we'll put it back up on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. You look at the schedule, you go from Sioux City, Omaha, Columbus, Sioux City, Shreveport, Wheeling, Columbus, Shreveport. Those games against the American division are crucial for Beaumont, period. Because you don't, how can I say this? You don't have makeup games from the other conference where you can try and add wins on the other. You have Omaha and Sioux City. Those are not makeup games. Those are big. That's Michigan and Ohio State. In your division, you have Alabama and LSU. You're like, what the heck? We have nowhere. Their schedule is. Well, we mentioned that Colorado at the time had the toughest schedule. You look at now how the schedule forms just 2 weeks before the season.
Yeah.
They have a tough schedule.
Well, and you look at it. Yeah, and sorry, you look at it from the perspective of like wondering how that's going to work, right? And I like this comment that we have about like, wondering or hoping that the divisional games are going to have a little bit more weight with percentage of wins and stuff, because we really don't know. Like, we don't know specifically, like right now, at least, how the league's going to handle that, right? We haven't been told that information yet. Hopefully we'll get that before the season starts, but it's going to be interesting for me as a fan to look at that and go, okay, so some teams have, 9 regular season games against league opponents, and some teams have 8, right? And some teams play every team in their conference or division, and then some teams play, all but one team in their division. And so it's going to just be interesting to see how that plays out throughout the season and how that affects playoff seeding when it comes time to figure out who's going to the playoffs.
Yeah. And no matter where you look at, if it's division game, conference game, league games, whatever, that is a brutal schedule. No matter who it is. You can replace Beaumont with, let's throw an old AFL team out there. The Jacksonville Tomcats are the old AFL team. Put that in and go, here's your schedule. It's still a very brutal schedule.
Yeah, for sure.
But sometimes you can be tested. What happens if Beaumont in that 8-game schedule they have in front of them for the NAL. What happens if they go 7-1 in that? That means they went through the trials and tribulations of an entire season. And their first playoff game might be, I don't know, Carolina, or they go play in the championship game against like Colorado or something like that. Just, assumptions, folks. They're battle tested. There's only two ways this team is going to go. They're either going to be headlines at the end of the year at the championship game, dinner and celebration. Beaumont Blast NAL. Headline it like they have like an ultimate schedule, 9-1, whatever. Or they can be Beaumont, falls flat. That's the schedule. I look at the schedule. It's like if they're really good and they come out firing out the gate, they can make some noise early and actually kind of put Sioux City and Omaha in positions where even the national division becomes a very competitive battle towards the end of the year, where you're talking about postseason type of games 4 weeks left until the regular season ends. That's what you need. But in the American, me and you both said in the last episode, and even including the Shreveport episode a couple of weeks ago, Shreveport and Beaumont are the two biggest wild cards out of the whole league because we don't know who they are.
Right.
Beaumont has a chance to show it, and you'll find out who Beaumont really is right out the gate. They don't have they don't have that warm-up game in the NAL. They have that welcome at Sioux City. We'll take a break. Oh, welcome to Omaha. Back to back.
Yeah, and not to say that there is a warm-up game in the NAL, right? I mean, all these teams are going to be competitive to some nature,
Agreed.
right? But yeah, I 100% agree. I mean, like I would say, when you look at the rosters, though, I would think that more people would have a little bit of higher expectations for Beaumont specifically, just because of the guys who are on their roster. We talked about, what was it, like 8 guys that have 5 years of experience or more on their roster, something like that, or whatever you said it was, right? And so they've got a lot of guys with a lot of experience in the indoor game, and that goes a lot longer of a way than most people even think about,
Agreed. And for the fans who are tuning in right now, the 73 that are watching live, most appreciated joining here on Inside the Walls podcast. And I know when people we're trying to look for news information about leagues, about teams, usually slow news days, something epic happens. We made an announcement earlier today's episode. Sources have confirmed to myself that the National Arena League has secured a digital TV deal. I do not know the company yet until we're trying to verify it, so updates will come as soon as possible. I knew that was shocking news to Matt because he almost fall off the seat.
Yeah,
I almost lost you. Almost had to call 911. You almost disappeared from the screen.
Yeah, I mean, like that's something that we heard about back with the CIF when the CIF tried to launch their own network and everything like that. And so, like, the fact that it's actually happening for me, and it's not even just that, like, sure, I'm an Omaha fan, whatever, right? It's not even that. It's like our sport that we love so much that the reason we do this podcast is now going to have an even bigger platform to display the athletes, the coaches in the game.
Again, I don't know who the company is. My sources have told me that it's there. More information will be coming out pretty soon. That's just my sources. And again, like I said multiple times on this show, you see the logo on the bottom right of the screen, ladies and gentlemen. If I'm saying it, it means it's real. I don't have to go delete Facebook posts because I jumped the gun on some certain news.
Right.
This is secured sources. I have connections within the league. So if I'm saying it, it's factual. So you can run with it if you want, ladies and gentlemen. But again, slow news day here in the indoor community. Nothing's happening.
Be on social media soon.
Yeah. And probably will not quote this podcast or the league. They'll just say, "Oh,
no credit.
We're the first. We're the first." Again, I'm used to it. We're used to it. Jeff gets his stuff stolen all the time. Which I was accused of stealing it again. And he was on the show with me yesterday. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, again, most appreciated. Next week might be a 2-episode week. So just brace yourself for updated news from Inside the Walls podcast. We might be doing a Tuesday, Thursday show next week. I'll let you guys know, but we will definitely be back on Thursday night with the classical rivalry matchup in the National Arena League. We will be visiting the Columbus Lions and the Carolina Cobras to wrap up the 2025 season preview series, kicking off to an epic week actually, I was almost say next week, in 2 weeks, where we'll be live in Wheeling, West Virginia for NAL Game Day. But again, before we leave, remember, the link is live on YouTube right now. Dallas Falcons versus the Shreveport Rubaroo on YouTube tomorrow night. We have football tomorrow night in the National Arena League. We get to see what the Shreveport Rubaroo are all about. And of course, on Tuesday next week, you will have coverage, most likely on a YouTube page as well. Get any confirmation on that, where the Beaumont Renegades will take on the Seminoles, not Florida State, the Seminoles on their precinct game to kick off their campaign as well. So, of course, Sioux City has a game coming up. Omaha has a game coming up. These teams are getting ready to have their preseason games, and toe hits leather on March 8th with Beaumont hosting Sioux City, Shreveport hosting some team in Nebraska that wears orange and black. Not going to mention them. We don't need to talk about them. Put your finger down, Matt. They will be hosting the Omaha Beef. On Sunday, the Columbus Lions host the Peach State Cats to kick off the season. And then on Monday night, thank you, Brian, for reminding me. And on Monday night, March 10th, the NAL caps off an epic Week 1 event with NAL Game Day, 4 p.m. Eastern, with myself, Matt, and Jeff. Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be on location. Merrill Hodge is one of the people. Coach Shaw, Coach Resinalo, and the commissioner himself, Brandon Eichert, will be on the show as well. Come join us. We're going to have fun, an epic weekend. And I don't know. If Matt puts the finger up one more time, I'm going to take his hands off.
I was rubbing.
No, I'm talking about we might get copyright if you do that again, man. You're like, put the finger down.
Oh, sorry.
We have Roman Reigns come in here and put a class action lawsuit on you because you're near the finger. Also, to the fans who are listening, if you want to get tickets now, enter to win a ticket giveaway to any NAL regular season game. We're going to extend the drawing to next week for Week 1 games. If you want to go to the Week 1 games, like, share, and comment on any of our podcast posts. This one, the ticket giveaway post, which is pinned on the podcast platform, or just say hashtag ticket giveaway on this live stream. We'll put your name in it, and you'll get to win 2 tickets to any regular season game of the NAL for the 2020 season. We'll make that announcement of who the winner is next Thursday night here live on Inside the Walls podcast. And remember, follow us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast Addict, and all podcast platforms. And of course, if you want more in-depth coverage of the Inside the Walls, visit inwallsnet.com. Right there, and the link sends you to all the classic coverage of every episode from 175 to number 1. Matt, final words.
No, it's an exciting time. The league starts next week. It starts tomorrow night. Sorry, and I can't wait to see this league in 2025 and just the places that it's going. And the season is here, and there's not a better time of year in my opinion. This is literally my favorite brand of indoor football and all that. No, it really is. It's my favorite brand of professional football. And I love this game, and I just can't wait for this time of season that it's finally here and we get to experience it and we get to do some cool stuff. And yeah, just be on the lookout for all these great announcements and these great games that are coming up, guys.
Prove it that you're a real fan.
Prove that I'm a real fan.
Yeah, prove that you're a real fan. Oh, there we go. We're in the episode, ladies and gentlemen. Put the belt away, man. That we're supposed to be non-biased here. Where's Jeff when we need him?
Training camp.
It's not our first rodeo. We did a tag team last year with it. Well, we'll get Jeff. He may be just enjoying training camp too much there in Wheeling, as they have a late kickoff for training camp there in Wheeling. Matt, appreciate, much love and respect. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, follow NAL content on all social media platforms, including Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for updated information and news about the National Arena League at NAL Football on all social media platforms, or visit nationalarenaleague.com, or keep up to date or information on the National Arena League, visit NWAS Pod on any of our social media platforms. To again, ladies and gentlemen, much love and respect. Next week, old school rivalry, Columbus Lions, Carolina Cobras, to wrap up the 2025 season preview, and then it's game week, and we get to talk about real football games, as week 1 of the National Arena League will be here soon enough. Again, ladies and gentlemen, much respect, much love. We'll see you guys next week. Be safe out there. The weather is kind of crazy. We thought winter was over. The Mother Nature's like, no, I'm back. Well, be safe out there. Hopefully see you guys on Tuesday and the following Thursday. See you next